I would like to acknowledge that this video is being filmed on the traditional lands of the Wurrundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I pay my respects to their elders past and present, and extend that respect to any Aboriginal, Torres Strait Islander or First Nations people who may be watching this video today. Hi everyone, my name is Steph, this is the Novelty Corner, and today I have 10 Christmas/holiday romance recommendations for you. I went through my videos and tried to find a Christmas recommendation video from last year and I couldn't find one, so I don't know, I tried looking for it. I thought I had filmed one, but I also have my Christmas in July reading vlogs. So every July I always do at least a weekend or a week's worth of Christmas romance book reading. And some of these books I have spoken about this year, some of them I've spoken about last year, but I thought I would collate them into one recommendation video if you're looking for some things to read this December. The first book that I want to mention is Silent Night by Evie Mitchell. I've talked about this before. This is her ode to Ted Lasso, and in particular, the Roy and Keely relationship. So you have the heroine in this story who is a princess who is engaged to a prince, and then she works out pretty quickly that he is not the guy for her, and there's a bit of a scene at a public event, and her family decide that she needs to get out of the public eye for a period of time, and so she's sent off to Alaska to stay with a bodyguard in the mountains in a small town and just avoid the media. Only when she gets there she finds that the bodyguard, whose name is Croydon, and his nickname is Roy, is very grumpy. It's around Christmas time and there's only one bed at his place. If you enjoy Ted Lasso and you want something short and quick and easy to read, this is one to check out. Another novella recommendation is Dance All Night by Alexis Daria. This is part of her Dance Off series, but it is set during the holidays. You have Nick, who I think is a Broadway performer, and you have Jess, who is a professional ballroom dancer, and one New Year's Eve they share a kiss and then they just go their separate ways because they're both working. But Nick can't stop thinking about Jess, and the next time the holiday season comes around, he decides that he wants to see if he can make this relationship work. He challenges her to go on 3 dates with him and then to make her decision about whether or not she's interested in pursuing a relationship. It's short, it's fun. Alexis Daria just writes great romance books. And I think I've read the first book and this book in the series. I don't know if I've read the second book. I desperately want to, but I also know the first book is being re-released next year and I'm very excited about that. Then one of my all-time favorite Christmas romance books is The Mistletoe Motive by Chloe Lisa. This is about 2 rival bookshop workers who work in a very small family-owned bookstore, and that store is in financial trouble, and so the owners have said that only one of them can stay employed past the holiday season, and so this prompts them to start a competition to see who can earn the most money over the holiday period, and whoever earns the most for the store will be the person who takes the job and the other will bow out gracefully, or so they think. Gabriella absolutely loves the holiday season. Jonathan is less than thrilled about the holiday season, but the two of them have this enemies to lovers or rivals to lovers dynamic that is just fantastic. This has autism representation, it has diabetes representation, and it is just an awesome book. It's like if you liked The Hating Game, you will like this because it's got that same workplace dynamic set during the holidays in a bookstore, which just makes my little book-loving heart happy. There's also Agents of Winter by Ada Maria Soto, which is the 3rd book in a series, but this series explores the relationship between 2 male intelligence agents who end up falling in love. And they're both kind of the misfits in this intelligence agency, but they match. And one of the heroes is asexual and the other is, I believe, demisexual from memory. I've got to go and check my notes. Their relationship is really tested in the 1st book and the novella, and then this 3rd story is about them dealing with the fallout of what happened in those 2 books and figuring out how their relationship works for them. And it takes place over the holiday season. They both have their traditions that they get to experience with one another. There's no steam in this book, but the entire series is just gorgeous, and they're all quite short, so you could probably read all 3 of them if you wanted to. But I wanted to mention this particular book in the series because it is set during the holidays, and I just got lots of warm fuzzies while reading the book. It does deal with some tough topics, but ultimately you walk away feeling really satisfied with how their story plays out. Another book that I read really recently was Me In Los Feliz by Kelly Reynolds, and this was an absolute delight. It is another novella. It is so fun. Our 2 main characters have a meet awkward in a bathroom at a friend's Thanksgiving party, but they're able to move past that and eventually explore a no strings attached relationship for the holidays because they're both rebounding from other relationships, but of course they develop feelings, and it's just gorgeous. The hero has a tea shop. The heroine is just a louder than life, plus size goddess of a character. There is queer rep for days in this book, and I just loved it. There's also Christmas on the 13th Floor by Lee Jacquot, which is part of the Holly Knights series. I think it's the first book in the series, and this is another workplace romance between a boss and his personal assistant, whose dynamic is very much based around the fact that they annoy one another, but they're very productive with each other around. And the heroine is about to put in her notice because she's moving on to another job, and Mr. Chen, her boss, figures out that now is the time to make his move at the company Christmas party. This one is very steamy. It's also novella length, and it also explores dominant and submissive elements. Another favorite, and I've talked about this one a lot, but I'm just bringing it up again because why not, is All They Want for Christmas by Andy J. Christopher. Again, this is novella length, and it is about Francesca, who is out for dinner with her boyfriend, and he breaks up with her over dessert. And this all happens in front of her ex-boyfriend Carey and his friend, who are also in the restaurant, and Francesca is mortified by this. But Carey and his friend don't make her feel bad. They invite her back to Carey's place, where they end up snowed in together for a couple of days. It is MMF, it is steamy as all get out. This was my very first Andy J. Christopher book, and I loved it. Another recommendation that will probably come as no surprise to anyone, but if you are a Stay a Spell series reader, then there is Walking in a Witchy Wonderland by Juliet Cross. This is a collection of short stories set in the Stay a Spell world, where we check in with various characters during the holiday. The cover is just stunning, and it matches the rest of the series, but it has a lot of Christmas iconography in here as well. If you're looking for the warm, cozy feelings with a family of characters who are just really lovable, I mean, you can't go past this one. I mean, this one is very specific to people who read this series, but it's a lot of fun. There's also Mr. Right Now by Annabeth Albert. This is an contemporary holiday romance, and this one actually starts at Thanksgiving, and it's the relationship between Russ and Esteban, who are neighbors. There's a bit of a Thanksgiving disaster, and I think Esteban comes to Russ's rescue, and then I forget the exact reason, but the two end up fake dating during the holiday period, and of course real feelings develop. In true Annabeth Albert style, this is super easy to read. It's fun, it's holiday themed. I think it takes place all the way through Thanksgiving to New Year's, and I just enjoyed it a lot. And then my final recommendation for this video is The Toy King by Adriana Herrera, which is part of her holiday novella series. But I decided to pick this one because I don't talk about this one very often. I think I've only ever talked about it once when I first read it. This one is about Valente, who is a magi and whose job is to deliver presents during the holiday period, but he's tasked with transporting his brother's future wife. After he's picked up Cassina, they end up caught in a snowstorm, and they're forced to spend a lot of time together in very close proximity. It is very, very steamy. Cassina does not want to agree to this marriage, and in a lot of ways uses the fact that she and Valente enter into a sexual relationship as a reason not to get into the marriage, even though Valente is really questioning why he's doing this, because he's very, very loyal to his family. But he's extremely attracted to her. She's an absolute spitfire of a character. I absolutely loved her. It was just fun to see a different holiday tradition represented in a very steamy romance book. So lots of fun, but I also do recommend the first book in the series as well. All right, so those are my holiday romance recommendations. In the comments, I would love to know if you've read any of them, or if you have any favorites, feel free to leave them down below so that I and other people can get some more recommendations. And if you want to let me know that you're here but you don't want to leave a comment, feel free to leave any kind of Christmas emoji down below. I hope that wherever you're in the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye everyone.